Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our annual dues billing compliance training session. This training session is specifically for AEs, membership staff, and your finance team. My name is Keisman Tramer, and I will be one of your presenters. Today, we also have Eliza Karapetian from our corporate legal department. We also have Lisa Edwards from our governmental affairs department that will be presenting as well. We also have Sandra Perez with us today, and she will be fielding your questions in the chat. And so if there's a question that she is unable to answer, we'll make sure that you get your questions answered at the end of today's presentation. So I just want to first say thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us this morning. This session is actually designed to cover everything you need to know about the upcoming 2026 dues billing cycle. Our goal today is to make sure that after today's training session, you'll be ready to have your dues billing invoices and your online dues billing portals ready for review by our audit team. Now, remember, local associations cannot send out their dues billing invoices or make their online portals available to their members until after it has been reviewed and approved by C.A.R.'s audit team. This helps us to ensure that your billing invoices and your online portals are set up correctly, and it contains the current legal verbiage, the lobbying percentages, the 2026 dues amount, and it allows us to confirm that all of your links are live and pointing to the correct page. And so the information that we provide today should set you up for a successful audit and review process. Also, I know a lot of you may have questions regarding the RAA increase and need more information behind the reason for the increase, right? And so we have a separate training session set up specifically for AEs, membership staff, your GADs, and your board presidents, where we'll provide additional information regarding the RAA. We're also going to provide you with the information that you can share with your members regarding the reason behind the increase. We just want to make sure that you have the answers to the questions that your members will be asking you. And so this session is scheduled to take place next week on Thursday, October 9th at 9 a.m. You should have all received an email from Phil Hawkins on Tuesday. If you didn't receive it, then we'll include the link in the chat. And so before we get started, I just want to make sure that you're prepared for today's presentation. Now, I have to totally be honest with you. There's no way for us to make this presentation fun and exciting. Even if I was to add some music to it, it's still slightly boring, but the information is extremely important. And it's exactly what we all need in order to pass the review process. But the good news is, over the past couple of years, we've been able to trim this presentation down from an hour to about 30 minutes. This means that we're presenting everything that we believe is important for you right now. And so Eliza from our legal department is going to go through the slides, and then she's going to take your questions at the end of the presentation. Once Eliza is done with her presentation, then she's going to turn it over to Lisa Edwards, and she'll be covering the review and audit process. And then I'm just going to close it out with a membership update, and then we'll take all of your questions at the end. And so at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Eliza.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the 2026 Dues Bill Compliance webinar. My plan today is to address the key points only, as Keisman mentioned. Fair warning, again, today's material is dense, it's detail heavy, and I want to thank you in advance for bearing with me and going through it with me as we go through the slides. And as Keisman mentioned, the slides will be posted after the webinar summation at the end of the presentation. So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Let's get started. What are the goals? We have two goals: legal compliance and policy compliance. For legal compliance, we must follow all applicable laws, both state and federal, whose purpose is basically to provide transparency to members. It's essential for members to know where their money is going. Members have certain opt-out rights that must be disclosed to them. There are certain IRS rules. For example, members need to know what portion of their dues are tax deductible. There are mandatory and recommended disclosures. Basically, we're dealing with political contributions. So we need to be careful with making sure that we have the mandatory disclosures, some of which require verbatim copying on your dues bill. For policy compliance, there's a cooperative agreement in place between local associations, the PACs and C.A.R. And pursuant to the terms of the cooperative agreement, RAF has to be included above the line on the annual dues bill. And we'll get into what in just a bit. There have been changes to the 2026 dues bill. The state allocation and realtor action assessment, also known as RAA, is now $342. RAA has been increased to $168. The board has approved a $99 increase. There are revisions to the RAA disclosure paragraph to reflect these changes. There are also revisions to the 2026 legal notices and disclosures. So please refer to the updated 2026 template, which includes all of the changes. We've revised and updated our tools to help you comply. You can find them at this link provided on this slide. Look for the 2026 C.A.R. dues billing template, which will be posted after this webinar. Look for the dues billing compliance checklist, the annotations document, and look for the memo on local lobbying expenditures, all of which will provide useful information to help you prepare your 2026 dues billing statement. Are compliance requirements only for paper bills? No. All formats of your dues bill must comply with all of the requirements that we discuss. Your paper bills, your email bills, your online dues billing portal, they all have to comply. Also, C.A.R. must review and approve all formats of your dues bill before you get to distribute. You will not be allowed to make any changes to your dues bill after C.A.R. approves it. Please keep this in mind. This is a requirement under the cooperative agreement. It's crucial to comply, and failure to comply may have penalties and consequences. So please don't change anything once we approve your dues bill. You can submit your dues bill through this link provided here. You'll be asked to upload a copy of your paper bill if you send out paper bills. You'll be asked to provide credentials for your online portal. Please make sure to provide accurate credentials because this may delay the process. And please keep in mind that it could take anywhere from 5 to 7 days for C.A.R. to review and get back to you. And yeah, please keep this in mind as you plan ahead. Let's discuss the political contributions on the dues bill. There are two types of political contributions: the Realtor Action Assessment, also known as RAA, and the Realtor Action Fund, also known as RAF. RAA is a $168 mandatory assessment that is deposited into the C.A.R. PACs. Even though it's mandatory, members can decide to opt over and request that the funds be deposited into C.A.R.'s general fund instead of the PACs and used for other political purposes. Nonetheless, it's a mandatory assessment. RAF is entirely voluntary. Even though it's voluntary, we want members to know that their contributions to RAF are vital. They play a critical role because RAF helps promote realtor interests through C.A.R.'s lobbying efforts. So RAF must be included above the line on your dues bill, and we'll be covering that in just a bit. What are the RAA requirements? RAA must be on the state allocation line and explicitly identified as realtor action assessment. However, if you have space limitations, RAA is fine. RAA must include an asterisk or any other symbol of your choice referencing the RAA disclosure paragraph, which must be on the face of the bill or on the same screen that RAA appears on your online portal. Also, I want to remind you that the C.A.R. dues and RAA cannot be collected separately. They have to be collected together. What do you need to know about the RAA disclosure language? It must be exactly as shown on the 2026 dues billing template, verbatim. It must start with the same symbol included on the RAA line. So for example, if you placed a single asterisk right after RAA on the state allocation line, then your RAA disclosure paragraph must also start with a single asterisk so the member knows the explanation refers to the RAA. For paper bills, the RAA disclosure language has to be on the face of the bill. For your online dues billing portal, it has to be on the same screen as RAA is referenced. What are the RAF requirements? RAF must be written on its own line and it must be above the line. Finally, let's talk about what it means to be above the line. There are 5 requirements that must be satisfied for RAF to be considered above the line. First, you must explicitly state that RAF is optional or voluntary using either terms or symbols. Second, you must include a default amount of either $49 or $148. No other amounts. Please note you can't lower the amount to $20 or any other lower amounts. The amounts will be $49 and or $148. Third, the default amount must be listed above the total amount due, and by default, it has to be included in the total amount due. Fourth, members must have only one option to remove RAF contribution from the total amount due. So for example, for online billing, this means there's only one screen to uncheck a box. It's not compliant if a member has to fill in an amount either for the contribution or for the total. And it's not compliant if the member has to check a box to contribute. It's compliant if a member sees only one screen to uncheck a box. Finally, you must include either the double asterisk next to RAF or any other symbol making reference to the RAF disclosure paragraph. The RAF disclosure paragraph has to be on the face of the paper bill or on the same screen RAF is referenced on your online dues billing portal. Note that the disclosure paragraph must start with the same symbol you use next to RAF. So if you apply the double asterisk symbol, the disclosure paragraph has to start with the double asterisk symbol. Let's talk about the mandatory RAF disclosure language. It's required by law, and you must use the exact disclosure language shown here below, except there's two exceptions. One, you must update the amounts to match the actual amount included on the RAF line, whether it's $49 or $148. That's one thing you must update. And the second exception that's going to be different is the last sentence of your disclosure paragraph. You must revise to specify how you're going to be providing the legal notices and disclosures. So if you'll be providing a link to the legal notices and disclosures, you'll revise that sentence accordingly, that last sentence, and you'll provide the link with an explanation. Please make sure that the link you provide takes the member to your updated legal notices, which includes your updated lobbying amounts and percentages. If you link to the template, it's going to be incomplete because our template does not include your local association's lobbying amounts and percentages. Any other mandatory disclosures? Yes, you must state that political contributions are not deductible as charitable contributions. And I refer you to the template for this language. There are also optional disclosures. Although not required, we highly recommend that you advise members that a portion of their dues bill is deductible as a business expense. And you can find this language on our template as well. Now let's talk about the C.A.R. Housing Affordability Fund, also known as HAF. We strongly urge local associations to include voluntary charitable contributions for HAF. HAF plays an active role in addressing the ongoing housing affordability crisis. It promotes housing and homeownership. So your dues bill must state that donations to HAF are voluntary. There are mandatory disclosures required for charitable contributions. So for HAF and any other charities on your dues bill, you must include language informing the member that contributions are tax deductible. Now let's talk about the mandatory disclosure of lobbying amounts and percentages. Because your dues bill includes non-deductible political contributions, you're required to present a breakdown of the estimated non-deductible portion of the total dues used for lobbying by NAR, C.A.R., and your local association. Both dollar amounts and percentages must be provided. Every year, C.A.R. provides you with the updated NAR and C.A.R. breakdowns. However, you must provide percentages in dollars for your local association. Keep in mind that if this number is 0 for your local association, you have to put 0 for both percentages and dollars. You can't leave it blank. Also, this has to appear on the face of your bill, and for electronic bills, it has to be on the same screen and as the dues billing language and amounts. So it has to be on the same screen. Legal notices and disclosures for the 2026, the 2026 lobbying amounts and percentages. For the 2026 amounts, I ask you to look at the 2026 template. One thing I want to point out, the estimated non-deductible portion for NAR applies to the entire NAR allocation of $201. Because we've combined the NAR dues and the consumer advertising assessment into one line on the template, the percentage that we provide you is based on the full $201, not the $156. We get a lot of questions on this, so I want to just ask you to keep that in mind, how we calculate on our dues bill. Every dues billing statement must include the most current legal notices and disclosures. You can find this at the link provided here. Where do you put the legal notices and disclosures? For paper bills, it can be printed on the back of the bill or as a separate insert. For email bills, you can have the full text be in the email, or it could be a separate attachment, or it could be a link as long as you provide an explanation. For online bills, it can be on the main page of the bill, or you can also provide a link on the main page of the bill with an explanation. Any additional requirements you need to be aware of? Yes, installment payments. If your dues bill allows for installment payments, you must disclose which installment payments include RAA and RAF. There are restrictions you need to be aware of. Additional rules apply. I'm not going to go into those additional rules right now. However, if you do have installment payments, C.A.R. must review and approve your installment payment plan before you can distribute to your members. Other compliance requirements you need to be aware of. All political contributions, both RAA and RAF, have to be in the name of the person actually paying, and it must be tracked accurately. So you can't allow anyone to make political contributions on behalf of another person or in their name. Political contributions are subject to specific requirements governing the timelines for depositing them into the PACs. To comply, on the 15th day and the last day of each month, we ask that your association submit to C.A.R. all dues, allocations, assessment payments received by members, along with the records accurately identifying the names, the NERDS IDs, and the amounts paid. This requirement is critical. These are firm deadlines that don't allow flexibility, so it's important that we stay on track. Now I'd like to turn it over to Lisa Edwards to walk us through some additional requirements. Lisa?
Thank you. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. Share. Can everyone see my screen? Okay. So part of the process is to complete the dues billing for audit. I'm gonna kind of go through it. We made some updates to it. So let me open this up for you. Let's see. Actually, and I think I have it. Oh. Let's do this. Here we go.
Oh, we lost Lisa. We were talking about this yesterday. It's spectral. All right. Let me.
In the meantime, Gizman, did you wanna confirm the question in the chat?
I'm just going to go through my presentation and then we'll just circle back when Lisa comes back in.
Okay.
Let me
It's
just share my.
showing that she's here. I can see her on my screen.
Oh, really?
She's muted.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, here I am. Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Okay. Let me share my screen. Sorry. I love Spectrum. I love Spectrum. Okay. The 2026 dues billing audit application. Obviously the date, your association, please do not use acronyms. There's a lot of associations actually have the same acronym. So it's a lot easier for me to just see the actual name. Obviously, the person that is submitting the dues billing and the last name, so that way I can, and email, so I can converse back and forth with them. The cell phone number is, it's mandatory, but if you want to put your work number, that's fine. If you don't want to reach out and talk on a cell number, I can always update that. And we need the email. The next part is we need to know if you're offering a payment plan. If you click yes, you'll be taken to another screen and it will ask you to, forward or send us a copy of the what your payment plan will look like. If you choose no, then you just move on. We do like to know what your dues billing vendor is. We have a list of as many as I know of. There's probably some more out there. So if you're using another one, please just put in other and put their name. For the online portal, please provide the online portal link below. So we need to have, it's case sensitive. So so here I need you to put in your online portal, and then for Nerds e-commerce and others, there's a different process for you guys. It's a little bit more involved. So I've added that to this dues billing application. And I really cannot stress enough that it's case sensitive. So a couple of times when I get them, I try and do my own variations, but I always fear that I'm going to get booted out. So if I can't get in the first 2 tries, I will reach out to the person and then ask for them to resend their credentials. Additionally, if you're using e-commerce, there is a new, they've implemented to access, has established a 2-factor authentication. Why can't I say that? Anyway, process. Associations can still provide C.A.R. staff with their e-commerce credentials. However, when I'm going in, I have only 10 minutes to receive a 6-digit passcode that will be sent to you. So there's a couple ways we can do this. I can alert you when I'm going to review your portal, and that way you can be aware of it. That way we can both be on the same page. And if that timing doesn't work, then I'll just circle back and do it another time. If you provide only paper bill, I don't need to see a paper bill in addition to if you only do online. If you do only paper bill, I only need to see it. I don't need you guys to put a copy of your online dues billing. I'm already going to be doing that. And also for Nerds e-commerce, I need a member in good standing. So when I do go through it, I can enter their name and I get a dues, what would look like their dues billing statement. And then I go through to make sure all your disclosures are up to date. And then I can also have the ability to make some changes directly on the new Nerds e-commerce. If like you're missing the 2026, I can do that for you. Or if you prefer I don't, let me know and I will ask you to update it. But over the years, it seems to be a faster process if I can just update it for you. And then lastly, we do have a box that says, I understand that once C.A.R. has approved the Association Realtors dues billing statement, the AOR may not revise or alter the statement without obtaining political approval from C.A.R. And then if there's any notes that you want me to be aware of or the team, just please submit them. And let's go back here. The C.A.R. is doing another 2026 C.A.R. statewide REF dues billing sweepstakes. How it works is there's 3 drawings. A member who invests REF through their dues billing will be entered into an REF sweepstakes based on the amount of the REF investment. So 49 to 147, it's $100 Amazon gift card. 148 to 448 is a 200, and 449 above is a 500 Amazon gift card. We do have a dues billing insert where the first side talks about the importance of RAF, and the other side gives information about the statewide RAF sweepstakes. So it's just one insert. Last year, this was really successful, so we hope it will continue to help members invest. If you're doing your own dues billing sweepstakes, you can still do that. It doesn't affect anything that we do at the state. So, and I can work with all of those associations that want to do their own dues billing sweepstakes. And I believe that concludes my remarks. Yes, I am done.
Perfect. Thank you, Lisa. Can you all see my screen? Great. All right. So I'm just going to give a quick membership update. So in an effort to make sure that the dues billing process is smooth and easy as possible for you, we actually created the dues billing compliance and resource page, which contains all of the 2026 dues billing documents. You can access this page from C.A.R., and it's located under local associations, and the tab is labeled C.A.R. Dues Billing and Resources. And so everything you need that is related to dues billing is located in this section. We're also going to post today's training session on this page, as well as the legal verbiage and lobbying percentages, the 2026 dues proration schedule. We're going to include the link to the audit and review page that Lisa just went over. You'll also find a copy of the 2026 dues billing statement template. And so again, this page is where you will go for all of your dues billing materials. As you start to prepare to set up your online dues billing portals, you want to make sure that you or your AMS vendors or whoever's responsible for updating your systems use the following prorated dues amounts that you see on the screen. The reason why this is important is because our system is looking for these specific amounts when we're updating our records. If the amount is off by a penny, our system will reject it, and the association will need to go into M1, enter a negative record, and then enter a new record with the correct amount. And so you want to make sure your system have these specific dollar amounts. Eliza went over some of this information already, so I'll just mention it one last time. The late fee for 2026 is still $50, and the C.A.R. late fee goes into effect on March 1st. The new member fee remains at $200. The non-member fee for 2026 for C.A.R. is now $342, and the non-member fee for N.A.R. remains at $156. Affiliate membership dues for 2026 is now $174. So let's talk about the payment type codes. The payment type codes are just as important as the dues amount, because if you enter a payment type code that C.A.R. does not accept, our system will reject it, and the association will then need to enter a new record with the new payment type code. And so in order for us to update our record successfully with the financial records from M1, the dollar amount must be correct. The payment type code must be one of the payment types that C.A.R. will accept. And then last, the billing year must be 2026. As you know, after you start sending out your dues billing statements and making your online portals available to your members are going to start renewing their membership immediately, right? And so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because when your members start renewing their 2026 membership in 2025, you want to make sure that the billing year in your system reflects 2026 for the members that are renewing between now and December 31st. We've seen many times where the financial record is in M1 with the correct dollar amount, the correct payment type code, but the billing year is not correct. And so I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Also, if you are a Rapatoni customer, Rapatoni is in the process of creating a dues billing instructional video for their customers. Once that training video is complete, they will be sending it out to all of their customers. And we're also going to include a copy of that training video in the dues billing resource page as well. And so last but not least, as you know, each year, we have members that renew their membership and then decide to transfer to another association before their financial record is uploaded to M1. And so the question is, what happens if a member transfers to another association before their financial record is uploaded to M1? And so the answer is the member's record must be transferred back to the original association where they paid their dues. That association must upload the financial record to M1. C.A.R.'s finance department will need to process the financial record. Once the financial record has been processed by C.A.R., then the new association can transfer the record back to their association. So why is this important? Well, if these steps are not taken, then the monthly reconciliation report and the BCT will show the new association owes dues for that member. And so the best practice is when dues are collected, the financial record must be uploaded to M1 and the dues money must be submitted to C.A.R. within 15 days. Now, does that mean this is always going to resolve the issue? Of course not. You might have a member that pays dues and then transfers to another association in less than 15 days, right? And so as long as we stick with our current practice, this should prevent a lot of these issues from taking place. So the key takeaways is always upload the financial record to M1 promptly when dues are collected. Number two, ensure payment is sent through e-commerce within 15 days. And number three, delays in processing can lead to issues with member dues transfers, access to zip forms, and inaccurate dues reporting. And so that concludes my presentation. And so at this time, we are going to take your questions. All right, are there any questions, Sandra?
Yes, there was one. It says, is DBS insert available to download from C.A.R. website? Yes, it'll be, everything should be updated today. So if you go to the billings, the dues resources page, a lot of the information that we covered today is already available there. We'll go ahead and also when we send out a recap, we will include the link in there. That way you can just click and it'll take you to the website as well. Let's see.
We do have a hand raised.
I'm sorry?
We do have a hand raised. I'll let Annette go and then we'll go back to the chat.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I supposed to put in the chat? Is that easier?
No. You
Okay.
had your hand raised. Yep, go for it.
Okay. And I apologize if you've answered this question for the last 10 years, or maybe actually the last couple of years.
Yes.
And I completely understand us getting in our dues within those, I say 10 days, which is what I try to do with staff, but the 15 days mandatory. Is there a reason why C.A.R. is our legal reason, I should say, why C.A.R. doesn't allow us to do it the first day of the month following the end of the month? We all close our month out, and it would be so much easier to do it the first of each month rather than the last day of the month when we haven't finished out our month. Has that been asked before, and is there a legal reason why we're doing it this way?
There is a did you want to answer that, Eliza?
Sure. As far as a legal reason, yes, there are strict timelines. We're dealing with PAC money. There are timelines as to when the funds have to be deposited. But I want finance to chime in as to like the logistics and see if there's anything we can do to help you you know, with the challenges you're facing.
Let me add, is it the timeline, the 10 days or the 15 days? I'm not sure which one it is, but is it that the timeline restriction, really not the day of the month? And for me, it just, I don't understand when we're all closing our month out, why we shouldn't be able to then submit it the first day of the month. It just makes more sense to me, but maybe I'm the only one that thinks this way. I don't know, but because then I'm closing out my month, and I always make sure that what I've sent to C.A.R. matches what we've collected for that month. And it's a process each time now that we have to do it the last day of the month versus the first day of the month.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand, Annette. So I know in the past, which was years ago, we didn't have political dollars in our dues, and so you're right. The bylaws did say one thing, but it has changed because of the political money that's in the dues, and so it does have to be reported in a timely manner, which is why they changed it to, submitting dues payments to C.A.R. within 15 days. Um, because we can get audited, and so we do want to make sure that we're submitting those PACs, the PAC money at the time frame that is expected by law.
And I completely agree with all that. I think there's still a way to do that and have it the first day of the month versus the last day of the month. So to be candid, we try to do it at the end of every week.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
We don't even go within your 15 timeline. We're earlier than that.
Okay.
I do it the first day of the month so that my documents are clean, not the last day of the month. And I'm still within the timeframes allowed. It's just I don't do it the last day of the month. And I'm just trying to figure out if am I against the rules? Am I going against C.A.R. at this point, even though I know I'm early in all my payments? Or is it something you guys can consider? It doesn't make any sense to me. When
Yeah, I
everybody
think
closes out their month, when we all match what we all look into what we sent to C.A.R. and at least I do, to make sure that the numbers are exact.
I think what I want to do is at our next membership meeting, I think I want to invite Brian Manson,
Okay.
and just so that we can get his feedback as well.
Okay, I appreciate that. And
Uh-huh.
if I'm the only one that feels this way, please, the rest of you on this call, make sure that.
No, you're not.
But
You're
if
not.
I'm not.
Yeah, you're not alone. You're
Okay.
definitely not alone.
All right.
For sure.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right. Hey, Valerie.
Hi, thank you. Could we get some clarification, or is there a resource available for us to speak to our members who so choose for their contribution to go to general political purposes? If we're asked that question, what is the definition of general political purposes? If we could get some talking points or some kind of resource that we could provide to them, that would be great.
Yeah, it goes into the general fund, and that money is used for for lobbying purposes, or not lobbying, for member mobilization. So their money is being used for still political still being used for advocacy, but it's not going into a PAC.
Okay.
Okay, that's the difference. That when we say general, we don't, if it says PACs, it goes into the PACs. General fund, it goes into our general fund, and then we have programs that the money is used to support.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Lisa.
So, Valerie, so would you still like us to put together some type of talking points on that, or was that?
Well, I mean, I understand what she said, but I don't know if my members will understand it. So if we could be a little more specific on the mobilization part, I think that would go a long way, because I do have members annually who request that the money be, repurposed into the general fund, or into the general fund. And so I think especially now, it's important for us to be confident in what we're saying to them, and give them as many specifics as we can. So if you have some of those examples, Lisa, or if you could speak, if you could put something together that we could just use, it doesn't have to be lengthy, but something that more specific that we could refer to, that would be great.
Well, we are preparing documents that will be on the call next week, so I'll make sure that we add something in there for that, so we don't have to
Okay.
have something separate. Okay,
Perfect, thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Lisa. All right, Sandra, back to you.
Let me find the question.
Now, if you guys wrote a question in the chat and you just want to come off mute, you can.
Okay, so just to confirm regarding dues paid, an office can't send a check for agents in their office because the payment must come directly from each member. Is that correct?
So for dues, it has to be a separate payment for each member. That is correct, right, Eliza?
That is correct.
So the broker can't pay dues for all of his agents under one check.
Because there are political contributions involved, it has to be tracked accurately as to who's paying.
There's also another one that went in there. It says, if members have a request of no political contributions, what do we do with the RAA portion? Like I said, it will go into the general fund, but it has to be paid. So they can't get around it for any other purposes. I don't know how to explain it. It has to be paid. But it doesn't have to go into our PACs, but it will go into our general fund, which supports advocacy.
Yep. There is also a Q&A under the dues billing resource page that answers that question as well.
For the opt-over, who do they need to notify? And if we have it in writing.
Let me see. October.
They can notify me, Sydney E
Oh,
at
thank you.
C.A.R.org. I handle the optovers. Yes, you can just send me an email request that your member is requesting to opt their RAA over, and I'll make sure that gets handled.
Perfect. So we will just send an email to you, Sydney.
Yeah, and I think my contact information is also on that Q&A you referenced.
Okay. So what if they send it to accounting@car.org? Does that go to you as well, or no?
It'll get forwarded to me, yeah. But I would prefer just to go directly to me, like for time
Gotcha.
issue.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Hey, Sarita.
So I'm sorry, I just need a little bit more clarification when it comes to the office being able to send a check. So are you saying that if the office sends one check for Valerie to pay Valerie's dues, is that accepted or not accepted? Because a lot of times, and I've been telling my brokers like, hey, you can't pay for them, but their logic is they can't afford to pay it right now. The money is going to come out of their commissions. They're going to be paying for it. I'm just fronting the money right now with an office check, but they're paying the dues. So how does that work? Do we tell them no, they can't pay it if it's coming from the office? It has to be a check from them, or
Eliza, can you confirm that?
I will confirm that as far as legally, you can't have someone pay someone else's dues because of the political contributions that are involved. So fronting the money is not an option. I don't know if there's any other way to do this where we can still track it and, make sure it's legal. But because of the timing requirements, because of the tracking requirements, I don't see it as to like how it's possible to have someone pay for someone else, unfortunately.
okay.
Wouldn't that be
Thank
the
you.
same as the association sending over the money? Because we have payment plan, and that's normally we front the money for the agents. Is that
With the
seem the same?
payment plans,
Mhm.
RAF and RAA has to be specified as to which payment plan the contribution is being made. So timing has to be a consideration when you're putting together a payment plan, just to make sure that, you know, the political contributions are being deposited into the PACs in a timely way, and also the member has to be aware of which installment payment is the political contribution in.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, the check part is just a bit confusing for me because we do this a lot. You know, the broker sends over the money in one check, but we post it under the individual account, not under the office. Mhm.
Okay, yeah, we'll need to discuss that further, especially with our finance team and with legal as well.
Yeah, Kisman, this is Shu Yin from the finance team. So we do have the deadline to submit all the dues by February 28th. So I remember in the past that we had this discussion with Brian. The RAA has to be, if it is an installment plan, had to be specified either in January or February. So when they submit the dues payment, so it's not that you are upfront the money for RAA. So Kisman, we need to confirm that with Brian.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Donna.
Thank you, Keesman. That was my question that Sarita had asked too. So if I understand, if there is no change and we can't accept any checks from a broker, then I guess the only way to do that, Sarita, would be to have the broker pay NAR and local, and then the agent would have to pay C.A.R. individually on their own. Am I right, Keesman?
That is correct.
And I understand, but I'm not understanding. So that means that we would have to receive two separate checks and then process that payment according to the checks that we receive. But I use Rapatoni, so everything is just on one bill. I can't break it out into who's gonna pay what payment or what portion on the dues billing. It's just one amount. So I can't break it out
Right.
like, you know, the agent is gonna pay C.A.R. and the broker's gonna pay NAR, you know, to give it two separate check numbers in the system in order to process it.
Right. Because my understanding is they need to go together, no? C.A.R and R, those need to be sent over together.
So I guess so, Eliza, could this be a workaround? So if the broker is paying dues on behalf of the member, what if the broker actually wrote the check out to the member and the member puts the dues money into their account and then writes a check out to the association? Is that still?
Something we would have to internally think about, and just to make sure that we're still in compliance with the timing. And we should review the installment payment plan
Mhm.
as to how they're, like, specifically how the association is planning to do this. And we can just, you know, help them figure out like when each installment payment should be, how we can actually separate the NAR and C.A.R. dues if it's possible. But I think this is something that we really need to internally think about and help them comply.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to get with legal, finance, and discuss this further. I don't want to add too much to it. I just think that could be a solution, because if I'm a member and Sarita decides to, maybe I don't have the money to pay my dues, and someone gives me the money. It's not political yet because it's just money for me. Maybe I don't use it for dues. You know, maybe so there has to be some type of workaround. So hopefully we can make this work for the associations, for C.A.R. and for the members.
Even if I could speak again, I hope so, because we run into a lot of instances where, a person will have a closing at the end of the year and they will say, well, hey, just take everything that I owe for the following year so that I don't have to worry about it. And then the broker will just, take it out of the commissions and then pay for it at the beginning of the year when dues billing rolls around. And then also we have specific situations where a property management may decide to hire a licensee and they put their license under that property management company and they're using the person's license. Now, the person doesn't want to practice real estate, but they're working at the property management. The broker now in return will need to pay for them because the license is under that brokerage. So now they're saying, well, I don't have the money to pay it. My broker's going to pay it because I'm using my license to work for them. So in those instances, it's like, okay, are they going to force those people to pay out of their pockets to be compliant with us and then maybe reimburse them later? I mean, I don't know how that's going to work, but I know that it's going to be, some kind of tension for us to say, hey, the broker cannot pay whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean that was actually the rule last year as well, and so
Yeah.
we just need to revisit it to see if there's a way for us to make this work. And so I can't say yes or no until we meet with finance and the legal team.
I agree. And unfortunately, that is the law. I wish I understand where you're going. I understand the challenges you all are facing, but that's what the law says. Political contributions just cannot be paid on behalf of someone else. So if you know, like if we know your specific situation, we can sit and discuss that. We can discuss the questions you have and try to help you. But at the same time, like we know what the law is. So we're gonna have to figure it out together.
Yeah. All right. Were there any other questions in the chat, Sandra?
No, it's just the same about the brokers paying for their agents.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm just trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to bring up. Oh, so I am going to, for those of you that use NAR's e-commerce system to bill your members, I'm actually going to release the 2026 dues this afternoon. I do have to update some of the uh, pages with the legal verbiage, and so you will see that information updated later today. So I am working on that. Oh, I have some more information for you. So going into 2026, um, we are moving going forward the compliance deadlines for the year. As you know, we have three compliance deadlines. We have the March 31st, August 31st, and then December 1st. Going forward, March 31st is going to go away, and the deadline now is going to be April 30th going forward. Um, we were able to get that pass. We wanted to make sure that I just think that it's fair for the associations to really just focus on dues billing at the beginning of the year, because that's really what you're focused on, is collecting dues. February 28th, they're inactivating unpaid members, and then 30 days, later, you're trying to meet a compliance deadline. So we just wanted to make sure that we were fair and that we would, give the associations enough time to be compliant. And so April 30th is the first compliance deadline of the year going forward. So just wanted to share that with you. So hopefully that puts a smile on everybody's face.
Keisman, can you confirm what it is that the RAA session will be covering next week?
I don't have all of the information. I know there was a communication that went out to all of the associations from Phil. I know they had specific topics that they're going to cover, but it is a session where you'll be able to get all of your questions answered. And again, that is next week, Thursday at 9 a.m. Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, Valerie.
Hi, I have a colleague who can't use their microphone, and their request is that when the group gets together on your end to talk about the issue with the broker paying and then the RAA and all of that, if you would have include in your consideration, if it's a legal issue, would it be appropriate for the person who's the payments being made on behalf of somehow certify that they're that they are in agreement of that contribution being made, if that in any way is the issue that creates the situation. I told them I would pass that along to you guys because their microphone won't work. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, 1 second.
I have a question. So in the past, we were able to email accounting for the past several years if somebody else paid dues. So what's changed this year?
You know, I didn't know you were able to do that. So, can you give me a little bit more? Was that Elisa?
Yeah, Lisa, can you give a little bit more information to clear? We want you to clarify your question. What do you mean by that? You can send email to accounting for what?
If somebody else, like a broker, paid dues for another agent, weren't we supposed to send an email to accounting? Is that what you said in the chat?
Oh, I don't think we can do that, but where's like Eliza was saying that you cannot pay for someone else. So we follow that rule, and I'm not sure. We definitely need to go back and discuss internally, but I don't believe we allow that. We follow what is the legal tell us what to do.
Yeah, I'm also thinking about the collection of the dues, because that starts at the local level. So the local should actually be collecting the dues for both CAR and NAR. So I'm not sure what the broker or agent will be calling the finance department to pay for.
Yeah, I think
We
can you
would
give
need to
us,
see an example of that.
yeah, example? Yeah, that would be great because so that we can look into it and respond back to you.
But for sure, Elisa, dues should be paid at the local level. They're not able to come directly to C.A.R. to pay their dues. Now, we do have our own direct members, but these are members that work in an area where there's no local association. So C.A.R. acts as the local association for about, I think it's about 50 or 60 members. And so they're able to pay their dues directly to C.A.R. because we're their local. But members that have a local association, their dues should be paid to the local association, and the local association should be submitting those dues through e-commerce.
Can I chime in?
Yes.
Alyssa, Alyssa, are you referring to the opt-over? Because that's what was to be emailed to to accounting. So are you saying the broker sent an email to the accounting office telling them that these certain members want their RAA to be opt-over to general? Because that would, and that's maybe, I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to, so.
Also,
Yes. So I was talking about
um,
the opt-over.
yeah, it's
Got it.
October. Oh, okay. Lisa, even over, we get the email from the member. We always work with the local association to confirm that too. We don't just take the member email. I mean, we do, but we always communicate with the local association to confirm that is the case.
Thank you.
Sure.
Are there any other questions, Sandra? That's it?
That's it, yeah.
Perfect. All right, so we're not going to hold you all. Just so that you know, the information that is posted under the dues billing resource page now contains the 2026 documents. I think there's just a few more documents that we're going to add. Also, what's missing is the instructions for the Nerds e-commerce, and so we should have that posted later on this afternoon. And then I'm also going to release the 2026 dues through Nerds e-commerce as well. So I just want to say thank you to Eliza, to Lisa, to Sandra, and to all of you for joining us today. Lisa Edwards, go ahead.
There's a new question that came in. With this new
Okay.
RA increase, will the AORs be required to meet a % for RAF? We always will have a participation. This year for 2026, it will be 21%. So that's always going to be something to strive for. So yes.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm not going to start my thank you over again. I'm just kidding, Lisa. All right. No, thank you everybody for joining us today, and we will see you soon. If you have any questions after we're done today, please be sure to send us an email. You have Eliza's email, Lisa's email, and also Sandra. We're definitely here to serve you. So hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.